I did my project on Harriet Beecher Stowe. She was born in Litchfield, Connecticut in 1811 and died in Hartford, Connecticut in 1896. Throughout her life, Stowe published over 30 books. Her most famous was her anti-slavery novel Uncle Tom's Cabin, which first appeared in 1851, and expressed the true nature and deep pains felt by the African Americans in slavery. Another one of her works was The Minister Wooing, which dealt with slavery, Protestant theology, and gender differences. A famous quote from Uncle Tom's Cabin is, "Of course, in a novel, people's hearts break and they die, and that is the end of it, and in a story this is very convenient. But in real life we do not die when all that makes life bright dies in us." This quotation illustrates that we may go through unbelievable pain in our life, but unlike a story, it doesn't end there. Afterward, we must press on. Stowe lived and wrote during the Civil War era. This era heavily influenced her writing. As Stowe stood over the grave of her departed baby boy, she felt and understood the anguish experienced by a slave mother being torn apart from her child. Stowe's only prayer to God was that this suffering might not be in vain, but that some profit might come from it, as she stated in a letter to her sister. With this understanding, Stowe would meet and converse with slaves, and she was driven to expose the true travesties of slavery. Some major historical events that are connected with Stowe's writings are the Civil War and the institution of slavery. So why is Harriet Beecher Stowe important to read today? Well, her books give an insight into understanding and the reality and horrors of slavery. It gives us a look into history and an appreciation for the present. Some of her other works can provoke thought into theology, gender roles in society, and classism in modern day. Stowe's work had an enormous impact at the time it was written. Her book changed the way that people viewed slavery. She told the story of slavery from the slave's perspective and demonstrated the human side of slaves. Stowe revealed the evils and profound pain of racism and the undeniable need for equality. Her book struck thought into people and caused them to reevaluate the repercussions of slavery. As legend has it, President Lincoln greeted Stowe with these words, "So you're the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." Now, whether this legend is true or not, this still demonstrates the influence of Uncle Tom's Cabin on the Civil War. Stowe's legacy still remains today, as she addressed timeless issues such as racism, equality, and women's rights. Her principles still stand today and are important lessons to remember. Some interesting facts about Harriet Beecher Stowe are that she was a devout Christian her entire life. When she was 13, she was sent away to study at a female seminary school that her sister had founded. And in her later years, the last house that she lived in was on Forest Street across from Mark Twain.